Hello and welcome everybody to Teamfight Talkshow. We are back. DoA here along with Frodan. And guess what? We've got a very special episode because, we just started the Giant Slayer series this week. It's a team tournament, so we thought we'd have a team edition of Teamfight Talkshow. We've got Emily Wang and Kiyoon here, the two members of the 31/32 or out of 32. I don't know how you want me to say it. Kiyooties. And we're so happy that you guys are on the show. Emily, how's it going?
Going well today. Besides like a storm that took out my power for a while, but everything else is great.
That's good. No tornadoes or anything like that. That's if you're in the Midwest, it's always nice when it's only the
Yeah.
storm and not the cyclone. Kiyoon, how about you? How's it going?
Oh, I'm doing good. Nothing much. Just been streaming and
All right,
playing TFT.
cool. And Frodan, how have you been?
It's great. I think that we found our groove a little bit with where TFT set 5.5 is. I do think that this new patch that came out with 11.16, we're not entirely sure about it. I played all day today. Wasn't super good results. I think the meta feels relatively the same at the moment, but maybe time will tell.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. But maybe we can learn something from our two pro gamers we have with us today. First of all, the first thing I want to learn is 31 out of 32 Kiyooties. Like, tell us how you arrived at that team name. Like, maybe there's like a meme that I missed in all the memery that goes on in the scene, but like, I want an explanation. One of you, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Whichever one of you wants to answer first, you can go for it. Who's it gonna be?
You could answer, Emily.
Okay, since this part has to do with me, so
Okay.
at MSI, the mid-set finale, I think me and Soju had like a bet to see who would do better, and like we were both confident.
Oh, I
Yeah,
suddenly get it now. Okay.
we were both confident that we would move past day one, but then I think like I placed 31 out of 32 people, and then Soju placed 30 out of like 32 people,
I remember
and it was
now.
like a
Yep.
really big meme.
Okay, yeah, I had forgotten about that. I didn't want to connect it to anything negative, but I remember that. All right. But hey, solid day yesterday. 42 points overall in the standings. You guys are in the middle of the pack, more or less. But it's only, the first week, right? So obviously the points are going to change a lot. Did the event feel pretty good? Were you happy with the games? Were you happy with the team synergy?
Yeah. Yeah, I had fun. I liked it because it was like there was like no that much delay between the games, and it was like 4 games, so it was like a
Hmm.
fun time.
Yeah, 4 games feels like it's like the right amount of tournament games because
Yeah.
when you play like 6 or like when you play the checkmate format, you need to go like all the way to maybe like 7 games or more. I don't know. Like I get dizzy casting. I can't even imagine trying to play, especially in front of like an audience and stuff. So
Yeah, like your brain definitely starts to turn off after 4 games, like from a casting perspective. So I can only imagine how it is like as a player. Like I know if I'm laddering, I get to like game 5 and 6, and I'm like starting to click around on my other monitor and stuff. I'm like, okay, I need a break. My brain is not able to focus anymore. So on these like weekend tournaments, I think it makes sense to do more than 4 games in a day to get a good litmus of who the best players are. But when it's a multi-week tournament, I think 4 games per day is perfect. Since we're kind of on that topic suddenly, what do you think? What's the sweet spot as far as games per day, Emily?
I think like 4 to 5 is good. Four felt pretty good because it was like 3 hours, I think, 3-ish hours. It wasn't too much
Yeah.
downtime, and I think even the fourth game, like we were still having fun, and it was still just fresh, kind of.
Oh, all right, cool. I think we may have lost our producer there for a second, but we'll be back in a moment. I guess we'll just kind of pretend that the show's still going. Maybe you're seeing us, maybe you're not.
Can
I'm,
they see us?
uh,
what,
I
what's
think it's
up?
still going.
I was thinking it's okay. Cool. All right, well, we'll just keep
All
going
right.
then.
Okay.
Yeah, here we are. All right. Oh wait, it says be right back. Oh, all right. Here we're back.
We're back.
Yes. All right. Conquering technology. But this gives us a great opportunity to segue away from the esports talk because we're not supposed to get there yet and go back into the format that we had planned, which is to talk initially about the 5.5 meta. The patch just came out today. Obviously, there haven't been a lot of games played on it yet. Some of the things this patch was trying to do was bring down the Tristana builds a little bit, like nerf the rats slightly, but also bring things up like Legionnaire. Kiyoon, I know none of us have really played a ton of games on this yet, but between talking to people, seeing streams, maybe playing a couple games yourself, like what are your initial impressions of 5.5 here? Or this
Set
patch?
5.5 or just this patch?
Let's go in 5.5 first, and then we'll get into the patch just in a little bit.
Oh, okay. I think overall compared to set 5, I think 5.5 is a lot better than 5. Mostly because set 5 was all like linear comps. It was just 6 forgotten, 6
Mhm.
dawn, 6 redeemed, and it was like basically the same, just rotating linear comps. But this set there's a lot more, I guess, viable comps. But then it's still like the main same comps like A bomb, Yasuo,
Mhm.
stuff like that. So yeah,
Okay.
I think it's a lot better than the 5.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree. You're nodding as well, Emily. You're kind of in that same boat.
Yeah, I think definitely 5.5 is better than 5. I feel like it's just more fun, a little bit more flexible, and not as confusing for people who don't play that much. So yeah, it's definitely better.
Wait, this is okay. I'm looking at this meta screen. Why?
Uh-huh.
It's like almost like it's recommending for you to play Aphelios, but do not do this to
No,
yourself.
don't
Yeah,
don't
do
play
not play
Aphelios.
Aphelios.
It's one of those things where it's like a high win rate comp, but that's only because the people play it like when they have a really good opportunity, like towards the end of a game. It's not something you just like
no,
go
it's,
through a game and be like, I'm Rangers, you know?
it's when people get like the Nico start, they high roll like
Yeah.
Akshan on 7, and then they like somehow got like Akshan off Carousel or something, and they had like Akshan 2 at 4-5, and then they like fast 9, and then they're like, oh, I guess I'll play Aphelios, and then all of a sudden the data's like, whoa, Aphelios cup. I don't know. That's usually how it
Yeah.
comes together. Don't play Aphelios. It's bad.
It is bad. I tried it a couple times the other day. It was awful. What's been like the preferences as far as what you've enjoyed playing the most of? Is it more Kiyoon? Do you find yourself more kind of trending towards playing what is quote unquote the good comps, or do you kind of just like to do your own thing?
Actually, if I were to like climb and only care about LP, I would probably play like 1 or 2 comps only.
Mm.
But then lately, I've been like subconscious about like uploading different what is it, gameplay on YouTube, and
Ah.
also every time I play the same comp over and over again, my chat just goes like badge or something. Like they're just sick of me watching the same comp. So I try to keep it like different, but
Whoa. Are you worried
I don't-
about the delicate balance between entertainer and professional gamer?
I mean, right now I feel like LP is kind of like meaningless because it's like people that are qualified for regionals already qualified,
Fair
and then
enough.
it's kind of like a downtime, so it doesn't really matter. But I think it's definitely, yeah, something I just consider when I'm playing games.
All right.
What's the most fun comp to play right now?
Most fun, I think Action's up there. Action 2. It's like one of the most hardcore comp, but it's like once you get there and you hit Action 2, it's like really fun seeing your Action 1v9.
Except for
But
yesterday when me, Kiyoon, and Pressivant were queuing together, and Kiyoon made an Akshan too. He's like, "You guys are going down," and then he went fifth.
yeah, no, I thought I was the strongest, and I went fit.
Yeah. Wait, so Becca today
Hmm.
was playing. She hit
Hmm.
Akshan 2 and she went 8th. So I don't know how to read that comp sometimes. I feel like Akshan sometimes randomly ints, but because I can't really tell because the action is so fast and it's really hard to track what's going on sometimes.
He can like swing in front of a Vel'Koz sometimes and just get like evaporated and stuff like that. I still like it in the 6 Sentinel variety where you play it mathematically correct and you make sure that he gets a speed buff right away and then he tends to do a little bit better. But Emily, I'll throw it over to you. What have you been enjoying playing lately? Has it been much Akshan or other things?
No, I think from like few weeks ago, my favorite was just A bomb plus Heimer, and then like I think I was climbing a lot with it, and then I also had the same problem as Q, where like I literally had 3 YouTube uploads in a row that was A bomb Heimer or like A bomb something, and I was like, okay, I
Yeah.
can't keep doing this, so I started playing other stuff, and then I didn't climb as much. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Being YouTube is uploading cool content is more important than LP.
It's true. It's true. I
is
watched your
true.
most recent video, Emily, where Boxbox's mom was like, or Boxbox like, my mom watches your videos, so please don't embarrass me. And then Emily beat Boxbox 1-2.
Hey, well, you know, it happens to everybody, right? You know, it is kind of cold to disappoint
Losing
a
to
mom
Emily
like that.
Wang, it's true. It's true. Everyone gets wanged eventually. It's only a matter of time.
That is true. Well, let's fast forward a little bit and talk about the actual patch for today. And I don't really know how much we're gonna all have to say about this because initial indications are that, like Frodan mentioned earlier, things are not really all that different. It's only one day into it. So I guess Emily, my question to you is sort of like, do you see possibilities for things kind of changing, or if you could pick one thing that's going to kind of emerge that doesn't really exist right now because of this patch, do you what would you think it would be?
Wait, can I first say what it's not going to be?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so today I queued up, excited to play a game, saw the Karma buff, made a
Oh,
Karma
no.
3, and I went third to Rats. So I can tell you, Karma is not it. But yeah.
Wow.
I think
It's a rage in
otherwise,
that statement.
I think
I'm looking at your lol chest to see what happened this game.
Wait, I was also looking at.
Yeah.
Doctors Frodan and Kiyoon are on the scene. Okay.
But I think like
Okay.
Draven was always pretty good, and he's probably a little bit better now. So
Sure.
but
Why do you
that-
have an Archangel staff on your Karma if it's Karma 3?
Wait, because there was no other options. I
Oh,
took it
yeah,
from the last
okay.
You know,
episode.
Archangel staff doesn't do anything. You basically put a rod on her.
No,
If it's last carousel, it's okay.
no, my
Okay.
Karma was hard stuck 2 items the whole time, and then the last carousel that was like the only possible item that made sense unless I wanted to put a locket on her, which maybe it's better.
Well, I mean, it's still a
Really
rod, and at least you get defensive stats. Maybe it is better, actually.
She would have
Karma
survived the
specifically.
Tristana.
Wait, I saw the EOS match history, and then people are winning with Karma. So I'm not.
Wait,
sure.
no. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it?
I don't know,
Profile,
I
give me a
saw
profile.
Therese match history, and people in his lobby was winning with it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it's not too bad. It's just I didn't
yeah, I
have
think
upgraded
it's-
front line, and
I think
my
it's better, but yeah, it's still like not S tier
yeah.
probably.
Very struggling a little bit right now. Like-
It's
Barely get fourth. Three is, by the way, I think global rank 1 right now, right?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
watching a stream earlier.
I mean, Karma could be one of those things too, where it's like it might be a comfortable top 4 comp, right? Where it's like if you play it, you're not expecting to win the lobby. You're just expecting to get a little bit of LP and move on with your day. You know,
Yeah.
it kind of seems like that's where we're at, possibly. If you roll very well, it probably still does take a little bit of a high roll to get there, but
Yeah, you need like the front line to play her, I think, but it's kind of hard to
Mm.
hit like the volley Ivern and Garens and stuff like that. I think.
yeah, I suppose.
I will say that, like, I think if there's one prediction about this patch is that I think Draven becomes a lot more of a viable carry that you can rely
Oh,
on
yeah.
to like top 2. I think that, like, in the past patch, it felt like Draven was only if you really couldn't hit the other good AD carries. Like, you couldn't hit obviously Lucian, or you couldn't get like Jax going online. Sometimes you just play like Draven 2 Forgotten and just play like Revenant Mystics and hope you get for 3rd place or something like that.
Mm.
Now it actually feels like you can win lobbies. And also I think you like corroborate that, or you correlate that with like the items that are getting buffed. So like Demon Slayer's a little bit better. I think the Rageblade buff is actually really good for Radiant Rageblade. It's actually very, very solid because it helps you ramp up the attack speed, and that kind of stuff's like exponential. And then the most important thing is nerfing like the oppressive aura items like Radiant Redemption and Sunlight Cape, because like it was just almost like feels so bad to not pick it, even if it feels like your composition doesn't really need it, because they were so much stronger than everything else. The item imbalance there is like way too big. So I think these are like some of my favorite changes in the patch so far.
Yeah, I agree there. Let's talk about Legionnaires a little bit. So Legionnaires got a rework, and I was wondering if we'd see some sort of like Blade Mastery kind of thing come out where you can stack Legionnaires and just get like a carry that's able to just sustain super hardcore. But we kind of already have that in Jax. There's been the Riven builds out there and stuff like that. People have been kind of experimenting. Are any of the Legionnaires looking carry worthy if you go deeper into that trait? Kiyoon, what do you think?
I think definitely. Or I actually didn't play a single game on this patch, but I just looked at a lot of people's match history.
Uh-huh.
Like I've seen a lot of like Draven's top 4, as Frodan mentioned. I think Riven's a lot better with the healing,
Mhm.
and I think Yasuo's around the same as well. So I think it's definitely slightly better, but I'm not sure like how much better it is compared to before. Because I know before like Riven 3 was really strong. It performed well in tourney as well. So
Right.
yeah.
But is it going to be worth it to go deep into the Legionnaire tree? That's what some of us were trying to figure out earlier today
Oh,
when
like
we were
8
doing some
Legionnaire, like
testing.
6 Legionnaire?
Like 6 Legionnaire still doesn't seem like really a viable way to go. Maybe there's like a 4 Legionnaire build out there, but I haven't seen anything that looks super convincing to me yet.
I think the issue with Legionnaire is all the Legionnaire units have like no CC.
Hmm.
So if you happen to run 6 or 8, you're always lacking CC and frontline, and it always like kind of falls off. Especially since we lost Mordekaiser from set 5. There's like no tank Legionnaire as well, so it's like really
That's
hard
true.
to pull off 6 or 8 Legionnaire. Oh, that's from like what I played before. Like I tried 6 Legionnaire, I tried 8 Legionnaire, but even though I high rolled and had hit everything, I wasn't able to always win. I was always getting like 3rd or 4th with it.
Maybe this makes Legionnaire spat stock go up a little bit.
Yeah, I think there's
Possible.
gonna be more like Legionnaire spat carries,
Stock.
especially with the healing.
Stock,
like
yeah.
Heimer, maybe.
Everything's stock now in TFT, you know. That's the
Yeah,
rules.
Right,
but-
fantasy TFT ruined us all.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit like it kind of goes back to like the big spatula changes. I kind of miss having like Legionnaire maybe be something that you can make because maybe because Hellions are just too strong and it's kind of funny to see things like downgrade to like a chibi anime version of itself. But you know, I kind of wish that the spatula emblems felt a little bit more natural. Right now, it still doesn't feel like spatula is a good item, and I still rather just greed for Fawn and hope for it. So I don't know. Like the Legionnaire changes makes me wish that the Hellion spat was still Legionnaire spat.
Yeah, it's a good point. You still need like a tome of traits to find it in a lot of cases, but at least it's out there. I don't know. Yeah, so that's interesting. I usually like to have, you know, big conversations about the patches and things, but this is the first patch in a while where, you know, on paper it looks like there's some pretty significant changes, but so far, at least in a day of games anyway, not noticing anything huge, you know. So I'm pretty sure that's going to change. I'm pretty sure like somebody's going to discover something, but for now it seems like business as usual on the latter. But I think we'll all be checking out profiles and watching streams as much as possible. Any final comments from anyone on the meta or the patch at the moment before we move on? We went over it kind of fast. No?
Not really. I mean, Nocturne was kind of good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. That's our TED Talk, our group TED Talk on the meta. Let's move on.
I will say one thing.
Yes.
I will say one thing is that there's a Korean challenger player that was like having some pretty decent success in the beginning day with Kale comps. I spent like my entire afternoon trying to play Kale and see like if I could figure out the build. Do not do it. It's so much bait. Like it's like I don't know how this comp ever survives long enough for Kale to activate into Super Saiyan 3, but it's like really hard to
Never
get to
does.
that point. But like
over too fast.
But like every now, I think it's completely like lobby dependent. Like if everyone's going like Lucian, I think KO can win because then Lucian's damage is like cut down by the 4 or 6 knights. But like if anyone plays like a single Heimerdinger, you just lose because you can't ever get past their revenants, and the Heimerdinger just 2 shots your KO even through GA. So I don't know. Like I was trying to figure out the KO thing, and I just feel like it's not good. So if someone tells you like, oh, KO's like viable or something, stop trying to convince the streamers to play KO. It's just a bad comp.
All right. Well,
Sorry, I think
No,
Kale's
go
good
ahead.
if you're level 9 and you have your own Revenant frontline. All the Revenant units are super broken.
so you're
Fiddlestick,
saying
Ivern, Volibear, they're just way too overpowered.
if you're going to win or place highly anyway because of other things on your board, then Kale is okay to put in.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah, all right. Just wanted to make sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Yep. All right, well, let's move on to everybody's favorite segment called Agree. That's right, and our first question of the day for Agree is the difficulty of balancing traits like Abomination isn't worth the cool factor. Emily, we'll go to you first. Agree?
I think I agree. But yeah, I agree.
You have to give a reason. Why do you agree?
Because I think like even though it's fun for a little bit, what ends up happening is you're just like mauling over how broken it is for like 3 months, and it's never worth the headache.
Okay, that's reasonable. Kiyoon, what do you think?
The difficulty of balancing traits like A-bomb isn't worth the cool factor.
And it's not that cool, by the way.
I really?
Whoa, wait, what?
I like a bomb. Oh, that's
What?
nice hard.
Compared to like
I love
After
that.
you
Not
uploaded 3 YouTube videos and farmed the views?
I disagree. I disagree with this.
Oh, okay. You disagree. Okay, why do you
I mean-
disagree?
I mean, as like person who plays since like Star 1, I really like having like one super carry or like one big unit like mech,
Mhm.
even cultist
Galio.
sometimes. Yeah, and then A-bomb. But I think the biggest issue with A-bomb isn't the A-bomb. It's the revenue units. I think those units are way too
Yeah.
Maybe.
like they work way too well with A-bomb is the issue.
Okay. Well, Frodan, what do you think? Agree or disagree?
Disagree. Cool factor is why we like playing games. I think like if anything, TFT needs more things like this, especially in set 5. Set 5 in particular, the big one of the there's obviously like a lot of different things that they could have done better. You know, I think balance was one thing that people have always pointed at, but just from like a systems design, a lot of the traits aren't inherently as interesting as they were in previous sets. We've even started borrowing mechanics, right? Like Forgotten just literally turned into warlords at this point. So, you know, I feel like Abomination is very cool because it kind of combines like this effect of cybernetics from set 3 with kind of like the cultist and elementalist and mech from the previous sets. And like having this this power fantasy of just like, you know, sacrificing or splitting up power in order to like, you know, figure out what is the best way to build A-bomb. Do you make A-bomb the carry? Do you make the individual units to carry, like the brand 3 reroll that started coming out with the blue buff and the Morello and stuff? There's a lot of different things that you can do about it. Because TFT is like, if it didn't exist, then literally everything is about just itemizing your carry with the 3 best items. And that's like all it is. Traits like A-bomb actually challenge you to think like, what do you want to actually do? How do you position those units? Because sometimes you have 4 Abomination units that all have items that you want relevant. So how do you like juggle that? Like these kinds of aspects I think are really interesting and are worth the cool factor. But you know, the first part of it is like the difficulty of balancing it. And I don't know. They nerfed A-bomb and it still seems pretty good right now. And I don't know how many times they've nerfed it, and it's still going to be a top tier comp. We'll see.
I think Emily's right in that these kind of traits always will end up being, you know, either on the very strong side or unplayable, kind of depending on the balance. It's very difficult to balance them. But that said, I'm sorry, Emily, but I have to disagree with this as well, in that I think it is just really cool. And I do like what Frodan said, that it does make you think about the game a little bit in a different way too. And I feel like too, we've seen this style of trait evolve over time. Mech was, in a certain sense, a very basic version of Abomination, right? And then we had Galio, which was kind of an interesting take on it as well. And so I feel like we're seeing this type of trait evolve over time, and where we do have a lot of invisible traits, essentially, where you can't really see any visual impact of what's going on. It is kind of cool to have something so obvious. So I wouldn't be opposed to a set that didn't include a trait like this. It might be kind of interesting to take a break from that kind of thing and see how it is. But I do like them, so I hope they keep doing them at some point. So I'll have to disagree, but it's like a light disagree. Oh, go
I
ahead.
just want to say, like, I really like having like the cool factor, because I think having the like casual players, for example, play is really big, or having the people who like really want to play because there is some cool factor in a game like this. But I really just think A-bomb is not that cool, and like having the balance issues surrounding this trait was just not worth it. Even though I have a lot of games of A-bomb,
All right.
but like it's because it's
Mhm.
broken, not because it's cool, by the way.
Emily
What
only
is
wants
a cool,
boring, big brain TFT games. I understand. Okay.
what's a cool comp for you, Emily? What do you think is?
Like a cool trait?
Yeah. What do you
Oh.
think is like a cool trait?
I mean, I thought like right now.
This is taking too long. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh no. Oh no.
She's making stuff up. She's making stuff up.
everything's cool actually. Everything's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, everything's cool.
Okay, everything's cool. Yeah.
Everything is awesome. We're getting Lego Movie in this
Yeah. Everything
podcast
is
now.
fun.
Okay. Well, that's fine. Let's go on to the next. Oh, chat disagrees, by the way. Sorry, Emily. Everyone's ganging up on Emily. I feel really bad about this now. But let's move on to the next question and see where we're all at on this one. Stage 1 is perfectly fine and doesn't need to be changed. Kiyoon, agree?
Stage 1 is perfectly fine and doesn't need to be changed. Right now, agree.
Okay, why?
I think stage 1 I had, or not me personally, but like a lot of people, including me, really hated like the amount of like openers you could have. Like some people can start with like literally 2 gold. Some people can start with like like 18 gold. But with a lot of changes and like the devs listening and everything, I think the gap between like the low roll start and the high roll start is like closer now. So I think it's a lot better stage 1.
Okay, so you agree?
Yeah.
Sounds like you do.
Perfectly fine is I think a strong word.
Right,
Like,
that's the idea. These are
like
strong
I-
statements.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm happy with it now, but I don't know if it's perfect. I don't think there's any. I think nothing
Ah.
in life is perfect. So
Okay.
like, everything could be a little bit better. No, like no matter how good it
Oh.
is.
So
Yeah.
so does that mean you don't
Oh,
agree? Or is this you can choose to agree and disagree? We've put both marks in the box before.
I'll say I'll agree because I don't think it needs change, but I don't think it's perfectly fine either. So, but I
Okay.
still agree with the fact that it doesn't need change. So, yeah,
Okay.
I'll agree.
All right. Sounds fine. Emily, what do you think?
I think like it's gotten a lot better over the sets and over the past months because they actually did change it. Um, I feel like it's yeah, I don't know about perfectly fine, but like before it was actually kind of much less fine because like you could be dropped a 3 cost and that would just like carry your game. Like I think earlier in set 4 or set 5 that was the case, but now
Mhm.
that's like not really no longer the case. So I don't think it's like perfectly fine, but it's gotten much better. So I don't really have complaints right
Okay.
now. Except I think I got dropped like 2 gold in a Nico at the very last second, and I couldn't even buy the stuff in my shop that I wanted to buy because I didn't remember that that could happen. But yeah, that's a me thing. I think it's fine right now. Um,
Okay.
just a lot better, so it doesn't feel bad.
All right.
Wait,
So that's
sorry. I just remembered something really important.
okay.
Can I change my answer?
Sure. Sure.
The
We don't
reason I'm
often
changing
go.
it is
We don't often go back and allow
no,
this. I
there
don't
is
know.
one thing in stage 1 that really annoys me, and
Okay.
this needs to be changed. It's so annoying.
Okay.
It's when you're playing a weak early stage 1 board that kills the creep really late, right?
Yeah.
And the round's about to end,
Oh,
and then the
yeah.
orb is always on the last one, and you're running
Yeah.
as your little legend is running towards it. The end round ends, and you can't buy it at your shop. It's actually the most annoying thing.
100% agree with that. Yeah.
So I don't think it's perfectly fine, and that needs to be changed.
Okay.
You have to get it faster.
I
No,
bring it
it's
up.
Kiyoon APM Sag.
I feel like that
Yeah.
really happens.
I feel like it happens every other game or something.
I talk about this like once every 4 episodes that stage 1 needs to be redone. You already know my answer, DoA. I do not think
know.
stage 1. It is not fine. It is not
I know.
perfectly fine. But that's because I don't know what the solution is. I personally think TFT could actually benefit a lot commercially just by cutting stage 1 off. For a lot of reasons. I think like one, it kind of takes a lot of the like I do know that like you want to start off slow and you want to introduce complexity time after time, right? But I don't think the game is that much more beneficial to like lose stage 1 entirely and just kind of say like this is like how the start goes. The reason why it's perfectly fine now, like it doesn't, I guess like the statement is technically true. Like it's perfectly fine and doesn't need to be changed, but can it be way better? Hell yeah, it could be way better. There's so many frustrating things inherently about stage 1 that doesn't make sense. Key named one of them. I still think opening carousel could definitely use a lot of tweaks and changes to it. I personally think that like TFT is just a little bit too long in game length, and stage 1 is like takes forever to do stuff like that. A bunch of different like reasons we could talk about it, but
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff is like relics left over from Dota Auto Chess. Like we accept it because that was the first iteration of it, but we never really like seen what TFT looks like if we just start like if you have like 30 seconds and you're in stage 2-1 and you just like have 20 gold to roll for your best comp. Like what if it's just like you start the game at stage 2-1, you have 20 gold, and no matter what, like after that, the 20 gold disappears, and you start at 0 gold the next stage. It's like then it's like encourage you to build your first board, and I think that kind of stuff's like interesting, but it's really underexplored game design wise. That being said, I don't know if that fundamentally changes the way you play TFT. So obviously the game devs probably have these kinds of ideas and stuff, but I'd like for us to like think about that stuff moving forward because changing the formula of like how you play, like because everyone kind of does the same thing now. Everyone like pre-levels to 2-1. Everyone like try to level at 3-2 and roll down if they really need to. If not, just greed and go to 4-1. Like you want to like really continue to challenge the player base to think about puzzles in different ways. So
This
It
is
can
the
be
guy
way
that doesn't like the carousel, by the way, too. Hey, that's a unique
I
thing
I
that
hate the
TFT
carousel.
has. All
I
right.
really hate the carousel.
I love the carousel. But that could be a whole different podcast, and probably has been on occasion.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is a tough one for me because I agree that things could be better, and I'd love to see like sort of different takes on stage one in the future. And I 100% agree with the fact that there needs to be a little bit more time if your orb comes out at the end to like decide something to do with it. You know, when you get that like 3 gold and you don't even have time to click on the stuff in your shop, that does feel pretty bad. But does it? I'm looking at this because you can kind of look at this question a couple different ways, and I'm gonna look at this one mostly from the doesn't need to be changed side of things. And like if stage one never changed, I don't think it would have like a big detrimental impact on TFT over the course of the game's life. I think it'd be okay. So I'll agree with this, but it's a very can you give me both? Give me both actually. Give me agree and disagree. I'm both on this one. I'm undecided. We'll put on that because I lean towards agree, but there's things I don't like either.
Okay.
I don't do the wishy-washy agree and disagree at the same time thing very often. Frodan knows that, but today's going to be one of those. Looks like chat also disagrees. Okay.
I think it's like the perfectly fine wording. Nothing is ever perfectly
Yeah.
fine.
It's a difficult wording.
It's I feel like it's mostly fine.
It is mostly fine. I'll agree with that. Well, let's move on to question number 3. It's not going to get any easier. Question 3 is the question known as there is too much backline access in set 5.5. Kiyoon, what do you think?
I think having backline access is good, but I don't like backline access where it's like literally just gambling like sides. Like I don't really like the unit design of like Vel'Koz where it's literally just 50-50 coin flip on like which side you are.
Mm.
So I don't like those type of backline access, but
Yeah.
like having some sort of backline access, like for example, Sins or like Aphelios ult, Hammer ult, I think it's fine. So I think my answer is disagree.
Okay.
I think this amount of backline access is fine, but I just really dislike Vel'Koz.
All right. So you're saying you're more about the coin flippy left and right kind of stuff,
Yeah.
more than the backline thing. Okay. All right. So disagree from Kiyoon. Emily, what say you?
I felt like actually the last patch, I didn't think there was that much backline access. Because people weren't really playing Sins much. People weren't really even playing like Diana Viego. The only thing that could like one-shot your backline was probably a Vel'Koz. I think now people are playing like things that can reach your backline a little bit more. But at least like just speaking from last patch, I didn't think there was enough. Like it was much backline access. But maybe this patch is different. I don't really know. Haven't played much.
So would you agree or disagree that there's too much backline access right now?
Probably disagree because I haven't seen much of it last patch.
Okay. Frodan, what do you think?
I don't know how Emily can say that with a straight face complaining about Karma 3 losing to Tristana. There's absolutely too much backline access right now. And it's like it's exactly what makes it frustrating is exactly what Kiyoon says, which is that it's very binary, the effects. Diana, wrong side, you lose a unit. You basically get minus a unit. Vel'Koz on the wrong side, you don't do it. Heimer's turret is also capable of one-shotting and stuff like that. And it's just like all these different things that that is just like this. It's just very polarizing with the effect, right? You kind of want things to converge more into like a 50-50, and then if you position well, it's like a 60-40. But right now, it's like the backline access, if you set up correctly, is like 80-20 in your favor, and then if you like position incorrectly, it's like 20-80. And that's just very, very frustrating as you start playing it. It does feel satisfying when like you able to like fully outposition. I remember this one moment, was it yesterday, that Kurum like completely like owned one person with stream. He like Zephyr the right target, Diana right there, like had everything going, Volibear in the perfect position. Like that kind of stuff feels satisfying, but it also feels like, you know, TFT is a game where you understand that you forfeit agency. If you really want to control the way every champion moves, you should play League of Legends Summoner's Rift. But like, you know, TFT, you kind of like let go of it and just have more dog take the wheel. But in this case, like I feel like certain champions just get completely squeezed out just due to the mobility creep that's going on with like Akshan and Tristana, and then like the backline nexus that kind of disrupts stuff. Like for example, like the full Hellion backline makes like Vel'Koz just like completely useless against Tristana, right? Because Vel'Koz will always walk forward and he'll never aim at Tristana, like ever. At that case, and there's like these kinds of things just like make it a little bit too difficult to counter. There's not enough counterplay. That's probably the biggest complaint that I have, is that there's not enough counterplay to some of this backline access stuff.
All right. Well said. I think I'm going to disagree with this while also agreeing with a lot of what's been said, because I disagree that there is too much backline access. I don't think there's too much backline access, but I do agree that the way that the accesses the backline is a little bit rough at the moment, in that it does feel very coin flippy sometimes, because you look at who your next opponents could possibly be, and you're like, well, yeah, I've got this Diana here I have to worry about, I have this Vel'Koz here I have to worry about, and it's like I kind of just have to pick one side, and if they're on either sides, I'm like, I know I'm gonna get burned by one of them if I do it. And so I've had some rounds where I'm like trying to positioning, and I feel like there's just no good answers. And I don't know if the game should really exist in a state like that. I feel like you should always be able to set your board up in a way where you feel marginally safe, not completely safe, but marginally. You're like, all right, I think I'm pretty prepared for who I'm gonna play against. And lately, it's like it feels very difficult. So I don't think there's too much backline access. I just think it's like how it gets back there is a little bit awkward to deal with sometimes. So there you go. Chat disagrees apparently as well. And so we'll move on to the fourth and final question. Players overrate the usefulness of TFT data sites. Emily, what do you think?
Players overrate the usefulness. I'm not sure. I don't know what players even think about TFT data sites.
Well, it doesn't need to be pro players. It can be just
Yeah.
like players in general. Like you see people talking about on Reddit and all that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, well, this comp is so statistically favored, it must need a nerf, but it might not be that way practically.
Oh, I mean, I feel like people just listen to what Soju says most of the time. It's like, oh, Soju says this is good, Soju says this is bad, so I'm gonna play this and not play this. So like
So you're
if we
saying people
consider
overrate Soju as
yeah,
opposed
so
to
if we
data
like
sites.
pretend Soju is a data site, then yeah, I do think people overrate data sites,
Oh.
because they're always like, oh, but like Soju doesn't build this, Soju doesn't do that. Like Soju says this is bad, why are you playing this? Soju says this is good, why aren't you playing this?
Uh-huh.
Like, yeah, I mean they definitely like over listen to people or like sites, but I really haven't had too much experience with people like talking about data sites, and I don't really use them or read Reddit much, so like
Probably a wise
I
decision.
don't really know.
So then what do? You just watch people play, right? That's what's good.
I mostly just watch people play it, or like I
Uh-huh.
check. There's one site I do check. It's like Mobalytics, because
Okay.
I just look at it like from time to time, but I don't actually really use sites.
An ad.
I just no, it's not an ad. I'm not sponsored. No.
Okay.
I just look at it from time to time. But
Well,
like,
like, what do you look at Mobalytics? Just like what the comps recommendations?
I just
are?
look at the comps that are like rated at the top. Um,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, that's
Okay,
it.
interesting.
Yeah. So and then
Okay.
like I kind of just like glance at it, see what like they think is good, because I know Ace like makes these, and I think he's actually pretty good at like keeping these updated. So I just look at them real quick, but I don't really know how much people. So I don't really know, but Kiyoon maybe
Yeah.
knows better.
You have to make a decision though. You have to
Oh.
agree or disagree. What's it gonna be?
Players overrate the usefulness. I don't know. Maybe agree, kind of.
We
Can I
just
have
give her both.
both? Can I
Give her a
have
check
both?
and an X. Yeah, we'll do
Yeah.
that.
Emily has no answer because she doesn't.
I just
use
have no clue about like
All
these
right.
data
He,
sites
he
or,
said
like,
I use
what's from.
Mobalytics, which is not a data site. So.
It's a data prepared by one person, individually curated. Kiyoon, what do you think?
What are examples of the TFT data sites? I actually know enough.
Meta TFT, tactics, tools, even aspects of LoL chess actually it has data if you learn how to browse through it.
they overrate the usefulness of data sites.
Mhm.
I think it depends on like how accurate the data is. Like I actually personally never use them except for lol chess, and I just look at people's match history.
Yeah,
So
same.
I don't know how accurate it
Mhm.
is, but like,
Not data. I guess it is. I guess technically it is. There's data on it.
Sure.
but yeah, I don't think actually I actually don't know on this topic actually at all.
But okay.
I guess I don't think they overrate it. I think it's so useful, like depending on how you look at it. So
Yeah.
X, yeah.
Okay, you can disagree. All right, Frodan, what do you think?
I strongly disagree. I think that if anything, we don't use data sites enough to like drive important conversations because the reason why I know this is because of Hearthstone. Hearthstone is unlike Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering, Wizards of the Coast actively tries to suppress data because they ask like sites to not publish win rates and stuff like that of decks. But in Hearthstone, they keep it very open, and that actually allowed a lot of us to understand card design and how to understand like what's really important about like what to do in certain situations. And I think in TFT, it's exactly what Emily said, that people parrot too much of just like different things that they hear from a streamer or like different rules that they maybe have like thought, like they read on a guide and they say like, oh, like this is what you're supposed to always do. Like interpreting data is a separate skill set. Like if a player, like I do think that it's something that players will get better over time. But the reality is that NA in general is too lazy. They just they don't actually put the work in. They'd rather just be told what is the correct answer. They literally are just copying each other's homework in class. And Mortdog says this is gonna be on the test, and people are like just saying like, oh, just let me copy your notes. So I think that part of it is that there's not enough on the line for players to want to get edge in data right now. But there is an edge to be gained if you want it. But you have to understand what to do, because to what Kiyoon said, if you just like look at data at the surface face value, you're gonna get a lot of wrong conclusions. So you have to learn how to do it correctly. But if I'll make a prediction. In like about a year or two, if TFT competitive is still around, you never really know what happens. There's gonna be a movement and wave of players who like understand data and how to use it correctly and get a severe edge on players who are too lazy to do it.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's tough to disagree with that. I think at the same time, right now, players kind of like Emily was saying, don't use a lot of these data sites too often. You do see Reddit threads that bring up win rates and things like that. Obviously, developers like to bring up win rates that they have from their internal data when it comes time to nerf or buff something. And there is merit to that data. But I think what a lot of people forget sometimes is that like your own game, especially if you're not in Challenger, is going to be so vastly different from what you're watching on streams or what you're seeing in tournaments, that data from that segment of TFT doesn't really impact you. You can kind of play whatever you want. And if you have good fundamentals, you'll do okay, right? And it's also contextual even further than that, where each individual lobby is going to be totally different and might skew data points very wildly one way or the other. So I don't know if players necessarily overrate the usefulness of data sites more than just it's hard to really get much use out of data sites right now, because I don't know if any of us really understand how to use them. I'm terrible statistics, so I will never understand how to use them. But even if we did, I don't think it's going to make a big difference in your own individual game on ladder. So I'll disagree with this, but for the reason of I just don't think a lot of people use them anyway. So it's hard to overrate something that people don't think about all that much at the moment. But there you go. Chat agrees. Chat thinks players overrate usefulness of data site. We got a bunch of statisticians in chat right now, apparently trolling through all the data out there in the TFT world.
I bet I'm willing to put money that the majority of people who vote yes on this and don't understand the data, like they don't even know what numbers to look for in terms of like average placement. Like what is an average placement of a comp that is good, that helps you climb? If I ask them that number, a lot of people probably say like 4.5. Which is not true. So because 4.5 is like the theoretical average of like stuff. So a lot of people just like don't understand that kind of thing. I know that makes me sound like really arrogant, but it's only because I'm trying to help NA improve and people don't listen to me. So it just feels like I'm banging my head against the wall.
I think that's also why like a lot of the better players like they look at low chess, like people's low chess histories, so you know if someone goes like 1 or 2 or 3 in a comp, you also know what they lost to or like what they won to. So like which the pure number of like an average placement of a comp doesn't show
Mhm.
usually. I don't know. I think low chess has always just been a lot of people's ways to like look at the data instead of I think what you're talking about like those other sites.
TFT
Well, I
is.
think that.
Oh, go ahead.
So, oh, sorry. I think the data is like really useful. It's just that we were too lazy to look at that. Like I think every top player.
Literally
should
what I
use-
just said.
Yeah.
Confirmed,
I think-
confirmed. That's an
I
agree from
think TFT
Kiyoon.
is like one of the only game where like the top players don't even look at the data. Like I personally don't look at the data because I'm too lazy. And
Yeah.
I could literally just look at people's match history and literally just copy them and just do it better. And then
Pro
that's not,
players
like,
don't
five.
really need to, you could say, because they understand the context of each game at such a deep level that, you and Emily don't really need to have those numbers to confirm to you what decisions to make on a given turn, because you just kind of know. Because you played a
Do?
lot. I
Oh,
mean,
sure, I think I do.
sometimes, I don't know, depending on the tournament we're talking about, but sometimes in the past, yeah. But all right, cool. Well, I feel like we could go for an entire show on this particular thing, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of debates going on about this in future months. But let's move on to our esports section of the show, and it's time to talk about the Giant Slayer series. That's right, it's back. It started this week. We had games on Monday and Tuesday. It is a team game or a team tournament this time around, over 3 weeks of group play into a finals week in week 4. And like we mentioned earlier in the show, we have one of the teams with us today. Kiyoon and Emily Wang are both on the team together. So before we really get into this, how did the decision, because there's been a lot of side bets and things like that between the two of you over time. There's been a lot of rivalry. So was this like a Goku and Vegeta kind of thing where you finally decided to just sort of like team up?
Oh
How
no,
did
the
the team come
rivalry
about?
I
Right.
think is between me and Soju.
Oh,
not me
you're
and
right. What am I
Kiyoon.
talking about? All
But-
right. I'm exposed. As
You just compare Emily Wang and K3 Soju to Goku and Vegeta.
yeah, where they're kind of enemies, but maybe eventually they'll team up. Kiyoon,
But the
sorry
thing
you're
is,
not in
I
this.
never
because-
made myself the enemy. Soju made me his enemy for no reason. Nothing to do with me.
All right. Well, there you go. Kiyoon, what's the scouters say about your power level?
I mean, I'm just playing with Emily because I just want to like relax and have fun, and maybe potentially win if we high roll. Yeah, I'm just here for a good time.
All right, well, there you go. Let's talk about other teams in the tournament right now. Obviously, Megafurs have been totally crushing it. Was it just like week 1 luck, or is there something really incredible going on there?
Mega Furrets is
Yeah,
Jirachi and Buzzy Boo.
right.
Jirachi and Buzzy Boo.
Usually from my experience of playing TFT tourneys, day 1 doesn't matter, day 2 doesn't matter, day 3 doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the final day. So, and then from history, every single tourney, whoever performed well in day 1, always disappointed the next week. So hopefully it doesn't happen to them. But yeah, I think we're fine. I think we're in a good spot.
Yeah,
Chat. Sorry, I was just saying. Chat thinks Emily and Kiyoon are more like Yamcha and Krillin.
What do you think about that?
Well, I don't know who they are. Sorry.
Oh,
They're
well,
the characters that like die.
they kind of tend to die a lot.
And then Goku and
Yeah.
Vegeta have to save them.
They need to be brought back with some sensu beans pretty often. Yeah.
Oh no.
That's it's not a compliment. But they're valuable members of the Dragon Ball universe, that's for sure. They're loved by all. Just
Pretty mean. That's pretty mean.
not very effective in the boss fights,
No.
It's
But-
okay. We'll show them in next week.
Yeah, next week it's me, Kiyoon, and Soju and Pigot in one lobby, and we're gonna show them who's better.
All right. And I mean, the thing is your results the first week are pretty good, right? Middle of the pack, obviously, like it's only 1 week, but
Okay.
42 points. We can say middle of the pack for the standings on the screen there, but really, that's only 5 points behind second place. So it's all very close right now. What do you think the key to beating Soju is going to be? Don't give away the strategies.
Okay,
But
I know the key to us winning the tourney. Emily needs to stop ball 4ing and we win the tourney.
Wow.
Okay, listen.
What?
My first game was
Yamcha
so
would never say
unlucky.
that to
I don't know
Kiyoon.
if you guys watched it, but I was playing Valkaz. Me and the other Valkaz player rolled at the same time. He hit 7 Valkazes, and I was stuck Valkaz 1 the entire time while he hit Valkaz 3, and I bought Fort. How unlucky is that? More dog, do something!
Okay. To be fair, I think Emily played a game. I think she played game 1 and 2. Game 1 really well, but then she got too tilted up game 1 because the other guy just got bailed out by Valkyrie's 3. But yeah, we're chilling. We're hard. This week was a fluke.
Okay.
So like
Luke, you
next
did pretty
week,
good though.
or like I always do good.
Okay.
Most of the time. No, I'm joking.
Oh wow.
No, I'm joking.
Oh
I'm
my
joking.
God.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
No,
I'm joking.
Kiyoon
Did he show
actually
you this
top
attitude
4.
when? All right.
No, he actually top 4'd every game he played Rats. And then the one game, he got
I'm gonna
scared off by like the Valkaz 3 high roller. He's like, oh, this guy's like a high roller. I've got to play something else. And he gave
Wow.
it to that Valkaz 3 guy for free. And then he bought Ford and he's like, never mind, I'm back to Rats. So like, I trust my partner to be really good at like some degen comp.
That's true. That's true. So
Yeah.
one thing that Jirachi said in the interview, I'm not sure if you heard, but they were saying that they knew Buzzy could win the lobby, so Jirachi instead just griefed like the other like Tristana reroller. So they held hands at 7th and 8th, while Buzzy had the potential to go for first, and he did. So it's like stuff like that where I'm not sure how much it's worth, right? I don't think you're supposed to do that like every game, but like once per day, it might make sense in that kind of situation. So.
I'm concerned
some
that
people
like,
are sweating. Some people are sweating for this.
I'm concerned that we're like driving this team apart, Frodan, on our show right now. There's some anger. I feel like this is a counseling
What?
session now between you
Kiyoon!
and teammates. This is
Kiyoon
like
was the one.
they had to bring in the professional sports coach to get the players to work together.
What? Kiyoon was the one who just flamed his teammate.
I know,
No,
that's what I'm
we're
talking
chilling,
about.
we're
That's what I'm
chilling.
talking
No.
about. We're asking these questions, and Kiyoon is using his
We
opportunity
didn't ask him anything.
that we invited them on this show, Frodan. We're responsible for this to a certain
Oh.
level.
Okay.
No, it's okay. Me and Kiyoon have known each other for a long time. Nothing can tilt us. Right, Kiyoon?
All right.
Yeah. No, we already know. Everyone knows. Our week 1 was a fluke. Like
Yeah.
Okay.
also
We're gonna have-
Christopher and Soji's team got super lucky too. That team was
Yeah,
a fluke
they
too.
got so
Like,
lucky.
they should be dead last right now.
Exactly. They should be like 20 points.
That's pretty low.
I think Chad agrees too.
Yeah.
This was our 5th question for agree.
That's right. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Well, all right. Where do we go from here? I'll tell you where. To an even better segment. Everybody's favorite segment, Emily and Kiyoon's GSS team tier list. That's right. We only have, we'll give you like 10 spots. If you want to only do like 8, that's okay too, because that's half the teams in the tournament or so. But it's time to rank who you think the best teams in the Giant Slayer series are. In any order, really.
Wait, I need to pull
Wait,
up
sorry.
the list.
I'm gonna get the list of the thing.
Yeah, same.
That's probably a good idea. Yeah. I think
Wait,
I think it's linked in Discord in our chat here for the show.
Oh, perfect.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got it.
All right. So I'm really curious to see who you're gonna. I mean, obviously, Soji's not even gonna make the list, right? 8875 not gonna be on there, I would guess. But should be an honest list too. So
Wait, are we just doing the top 8 or?
No,
Yeah.
Let's do
Oh.
top 4.
not
who
all.
we
You don't
think-
need to do all of them. Yeah.
Wait, can we do top 4 teams who we think are gonna make it into the finals and
Sure.
one weakest team in the tourney? So it'll be 5.
Well, that's only 5. You're really this isn't like you're not haggling for like how you're doing this tier list. Just give us your top 8, man.
Okay. I think. Okay, can I go first, or should we go together?
You can name one and then I can name one maybe.
Okay, sure.
And then we
I
can see if
think
we
the
agree.
strongest team is probably Ramblin' Roblin team.
No, I actually agree. Yeah.
I think they're probably one of the most consistent tourney. They played in previous team tourney before as well, so I
Yeah.
think that team's the strongest.
I think that's the one I was gonna say that too, because I think Robin's like super consistent in just tourneys in general. And also I think he's a good player and a good coach. Unlike I'm not gonna say it, never mind. But I think Robin is great and I think Ramblin's a really good player and like consistent as well. So like some of the other players like on top of the ladder aren't very consistent in tourneys. So I think they're the two that are like actually good at the game and very consistent in tourneys.
They performed well in the first week. Good choice, I think. I think a lot of people would put them on top right now. Who's number 2?
You, Emily?
Yeah, I think I actually don't know how well. Wait, let me pull up. What's the scores? Did People Riot do well last week?
Here I'll put the image in our chat for this show. There you go.
Oh, I think number 2 is
There's the scores.
Nubel plus DQA.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Like it's probably Nubel and TQA, and then I wanted to see how well People Riot was doing. Okay. Yeah, I think Nubel and DQA were like is either 1 or 2 as well.
Okay.
Yeah, but they have the Nubel debuff.
Oh, but
Nubel?
Nubel did well this week, right? I think.
Yeah, but like it doesn't matter because you play as a team. It's like it doesn't matter.
They're 43 points, so they're right in the middle of the moment.
It's true. I'm not saying
They're
that
in there.
they're not winning. I'm just saying like there's this weird like there's like this weird like curse going on where like Nubel for some reason the tournaments he entered
Nubel
not able
tournaments?
to like
Yeah, Nubel attorneys are kind of cursed.
You're
But
not
last
wrong.
week he actually did okay, so maybe the curse is broken. I don't know.
Maybe team tournaments are like the thing to help break the curse even more too. You never know. All right, who do you got for number 3, Kiyoon?
Their strongest team, I think it's Oh, let me see this list.
You've asked
Everyone's
for like 3 times.
forgotten
You're
who's
like,
the
No,
big
sorry,
guy.
I'm looking at it. Okay. I'm not trying to ego or anything, but I think it's actually us. Like all these teams I'm seeing, they're looking kind of weak.
Emily,
No
agree
ego.
or
Wow.
disagree?
I actually thought before that Pocky and Rue were pretty strong. That would like have been one of my top ones. But then I saw them, and I actually think third is probably us. But like I think Pocky and Rue like were supposed to be a really strong team as well.
Only been 1 week. You never know.
Wait, so are
Okay.
you power ranking or are you like based off of the results? You're like using the result. You're using 4 games of TFT to judge people's skill, Emily? Is that what's going on?
Oh no, I'm saying like maybe Rue like doesn't perform well in tourneys or something because she was like really flustered because people were like flaming her a little bit. So like I think maybe she's like she's a really good player, but maybe she's not like good under pressure and that's like because she hasn't really been in that many tourneys. But like I know like Pocky and Rue are both like really good players, but I don't know what happened to them last week. So that's why like I don't know if they should be.
Everybody's got to get that tournament sort of like armor, you know, when you eventually have to deal with the pressure and all that kind of stuff. And it takes a while for some players. It's true.
Yeah, but then also the other day, yesterday or 2 days ago, Root came into my stream and made me build an RFC Gunblade Yasuo that was the fastest 8th ever. So that's also another reason I'm not sure she belongs in the top 4 with Pocky anymore.
Oh,
Whoa.
okay. Whoa, all right. Now we're getting real now. Okay, I like where this is
No,
going. So
I was
so
just
who
joking,
is the
she's my
4th
friend.
then? Okay, so you would put them 4th then.
See, Emily, you can't you can't just
okay,
say it's
I'll
a
ask Kiyoon. I'll ask Kiyoon. I think it's either Pocky, Rue, Spencer Aegon, or GV and Spicy Appies.
I think it's GB and Spicy Apple's way stronger than Pocky Roo or Spencer Aegon.
way stronger. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
wait,
like one of the teams that I thought was like pretty strong.
I
So I
think
wanted to see how they did last week.
GB.
They did look pretty good.
I think 4-5 is GB, Spicy Appies, and probably. GB Spicy Appies is 4.
Yeah, I think
Not
that
4?
team is really strong.
All right. We're halfway through. Who's number 5? The thing is, a lot of these players are in chat right now, so they want to know where you're ranking them. You know, that's also an important factor. That's why we got to go deeper. We can't just stop at the top 4. There's a lot of players with high expectations in chat right now.
No,
Hang
see,
on your every words.
Pocky says Rue broke my mental too. So those two don't have team synergy. So we gotta place them lower now.
Wait, are we
All right.
listing all 16 of them?
No. You don't have to do the top 8. Only half.
Milk
Oh,
wants
yeah.
you to do top 16 though. He's
If you want to,
blaming
I'm
you
not
in
gonna
chat.
stop you.
Kiyoon.
Yeah. We'll say you're only required to do the top 8. But if you want to go farther, I'm not going to stop you. This is all content.
Our 5, I'll put Milk, and Becca, I guess.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
They're pretty good results day one, right?
Oh yeah, Becca crushed it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
She had she carried Milk.
Right,
She
right.
tied for number 1 in points.
Solid.
We are doing
Go
full...
milky
oh,
tits.
You don't
What?
need to listen to chat.
What?
Nothing.
They were reading
Huh?
what Delicious Milk is typing in chat.
Yeah.
full
Uh-uh.
16? They want to do
Full,
full 16?
yeah, they want full
Buzz-
16 or
Buzzy
he's
Boo
gonna
demands it too now.
unsub.
Okay.
Okay, but it doesn't even matter. Like the middle of the pack, like no one remembers. Like it's you either win the tourney or no. Everyone forgets second, third, fourth, fifth. Everyone's meaningless at the end.
So you want to, now that we've done the top 5, are you saying you want to do like the bottom 3 or something?
yeah.
Oh no.
That's the
That's
bottom
mean.
three,
That's
that's
me.
the
That's
bottom
2 p.m. That's 2 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Well,
You
all right.
just flamed half the players by
Yeah, I
saying
was-
it doesn't matter who's in the middle because they're forgettable.
No, that
You're
was
not the
cute.
top
I
8.
didn't say
You don't
that.
exist.
I mean, that's
You
how
are a
life
team.
is, though. Okay, that's how life
What's
is.
this
though.
team chemistry? You back your teammate up, Emily. You don't leave Kiyoon out to dry.
Okay.
That's why we get wrecked in Valorant because
I
you're
have
supposed
a-
to swing together.
I have a really
We're
good
just-
reason. Okay, give me an
Oh,
example. Okay,
no.
who won last World? Who won? Who won third in last World Cup? Do you remember?
World Cup?
Oh yeah, it was
Italy?
our guy.
I don't know.
See,
Oh,
no one
oh.
knows this. No one can remember who's going to be second
No,
and
it
third.
wasn't it wait, oh my god, why did I forget his name? The MIT guy.
It's a Ramkev, right?
No, he was.
Ramkev.
No.
Oh, yeah, Ramkev.
Yeah,
He got third.
because
Did
it
he-
was.
did he get
Sorry,
third?
my mind
Wasn't
blinked
it
for a sec.
Jaywalking SC Ramkev? This
Okay,
is this might as well be
yeah.
100 years ago.
But
This
my
is in
point
TFT
is,
time.
nothing matters unless you're first. Is what I'm saying. Like everyone just forgets the middle of the pack.
Wow, that's harsh.
Okay,
So
well,
third
that's,
is
I agree
high
with
enough
that.
up there,
I
then?
agree with that mindset.
So who's number 6 on your list?
Wait, I accidentally closed the thing. Number 6, I think I don't know, probably Spencer Aegon.
Okay, yeah,
I don't know
You
what you
are
think.
literally in 6th place. Okay.
solid pair. Just reading off the list now.
No, I'm not. I'm reading off the list of players. Trust.
Okay, I believe you.
Oh, I forgot about Crown and Solus. I think they're somewhere around there too.
Everybody forgets about Kurum. Like Solus got dragged in this a little bit too, but like everybody forgets Kurum exists. We did so many NA tier lists, and at the end people were like, "Oh yeah, Kurum's out there. He's really good, isn't he?" Everybody forgets about poor Kurum.
I think Parliament Solus is up there too.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, the Mega First, the Buzzy Boo and Jirachi team, I can't tell if they're like
I think Drachi is good some patches at forcing one comp well.
No,
But
I
like it
heard-
depends on if he's
I heard
Yeah.
Buzzy Boo played 10 games only on this patch or on this set.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
He's a Valorant player, but he popped
yeah.
off.
Yeah. Deep understanding.
He's not really a Valorant player. I'll just letting you know.
Wait, is that Flame like he's a bad Valorant player or like he doesn't play
No,
Valorant?
he's like his second week of playing the game.
Wait, but he's high ranked, right? He's like gold or plat.
He's
That
like
is
gold.
not highly ranked.
In
That's
what
like
world
saying
is that high
I'm-
ranked?
Emily. Don't
Anything
own
higher
yourself.
than
Don't
silver
self-hate.
is high to me in Valorant.
Okay.
Okay, it fell. All right.
Yeah, I think I'll put Solus and Kurum at 7.
Okay. Solid. All right, so we got one to go. One more. Who makes the top 8 and who is left out?
Okay,
Of
it's
the
I
list.
think it has to be Bert and HJW. Bert is a good player, and his friend that he brought is the biggest high roller in the world.
Well, I think it's Mega First. They have so much point lead. They're at 54.
I mean, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, the team that crushed everyone else in points in the first week isn't even on your list yet.
Oh,
That's kind of insane.
Like, I can't tell if Fuzzy Boo.
It's the most scuffed list we've ever
If he only played 10 games a set, and
Uh-huh.
then he went like, I think he went 1-2-2-1 or something.
yeah, he went
something
like
like
1-2-2-1 with 10 games a set.
Unless he has a secret account, I think he just high rolled.
Buzzy? Yeah,
Yeah.
he says he high rolled.
He said,
Oh,
yeah, he
okay,
says he
okay,
hasn't played very
okay.
many games on the set, so
Sure, I'm down for. Okay. I'm down for anyone. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm down for. I mean,
Wow,
you can
the
pick. I'm down
nihilism
for
hits.
either Mega Ferrets or we are going 8th.
I'm not
I
for-
feel like we are going 8th is higher in my book.
This is a power
Dude.
rankings, not
Dude.
necessarily reflective of the one day of play. That is true.
Sure, we're going 8th team.
Wow. I think that's a Frodan. I think this is a gross underestimating of the megafurts that we're seeing right now.
We're not on broadcast. I think this is fine. How it is. I like the trash talk.
I think it's fine too, you know, but I gotta say, I think this is a list people are gonna go back to later in the tournament. Might be like, a little bit scuffed. Just my prediction. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Well, the important thing is we didn't leave off any good players off this list, right? Right, Kiyoon? Right, Emily?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, dragged kicking and screaming through the mailbag, we have emerged from the.
Wait, they
or we
didn't make
emerged
the bottom
to the
team.
ma-
They said they
bottom.
wanted to do the bottom team.
Oh, you wanted to do a
I'm not
bottom
for
team?
bottom
Okay.
team. I'm not for
All right.
bottom
My bad. All right. We're not done yet.
Oh, this is so easy.
Yeah, so easy.
You could just see it's like shining. There's like one area of the team. It's like
Uh-huh.
shining.
Yeah.
It's
There's
the one with the
a
numbers.
radiant blessing. There's a radiant blessing on this team. It's so
Yeah,
obvious.
the 8875. I think that team's probably the weakest.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And why is
Mhm.
that? Give us the details.
You could just go on their stream and you could look at their gameplay and you could already just tell this team is not having it. You know.
What is it specifically that makes this? the
They're
case?
just it's just
Hey.
you just yeah.
Yeah, and like
It
you
just-
already know, like the team synergy isn't there when Soju introduces his partner as, yeah, I chose Precedent. He's not good at TFT, but I kind of had to choose him because I've known him IRL for a while. Like you already know when a team starts their intro like that, they're going 16th.
Maybe it's sandbagging though.
Wait, is there a side bet going on between you guys and Soju?
No, I'm
No,
actually
he's
down
gonna
to do a
outplay
side bet for next week.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
down
it'll be
for
fine.
a side bet next week.
Do you want to announce that side bet right now?
Well, they have to Soju
well,
and them
we
have
have
to
to,
agree to
like,
terms.
negotiate.
I mean,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
can
they
they
have to
can
agree
throw
to
it
terms.
out there though, you know, like, hey, we'll do this if you do this kind of thing, like that. You know.
Yeah, well, they already said they're going to do it, so we'll
probably
see. Just have
talk
to-
in
Trying to
like,
get more content for our show, Dan. But never mind.
Oh,
It's
wait, are
fine.
they in chat?
It's fine.
Yeah,
They're in
or
chat,
Soju.
no.
Yeah, Soju's
I saw
there.
Soju's in chat. Yeah.
Oh, P got there too.
Okay. Peacock.
Precedent and his IRL.
Yeah, Precedent is our old friend.
All right. Well, should we try to make something here? Should we try to figure it out later? Do we have enough time?
We're on a delay. I think that's partially why it's a little bit.
Oh, that's true. We're also on a little bit of a delay, so it's a little bit tough to actually make it happen.
Okay. What kind of side bet do you want to do, Kiyoon?
I'm confident. I'm not to do anything.
Yeah, I'm confident too. There's no way.
Oh. Well, never mind then.
Like, what does this 13-point Yamcha mean? Yamcha?
Okay, so basically, Yamcha is like a
Yamcha.
meme character in Dragon Ball, and they're saying like, oh, there's a 13-point Yamcha egoing on other players. So
That was a fluke. Next week I'm gonna have 30 points. Trust.
Pesavit says 500 each side bet.
Whoa.
That's what he
Wager.
said.
Soju says wager 10k no pinch.
Oh, 10K. Oh my
That's
goodness.
a lot.
That's the entire prize pool of the tournament. You
That
can't
is.
just do
You'd have
that.
to become every player at that point.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot.
See, the thing is, he's bluffing. He's bluffing. He tries to intimidate you with a big bet, Kiyoon.
Oh,
This
usually
is Soju's poker strategy.
I'm actually down. I'm actually down.
For 10k or for
Whoa,
500?
what?
10k? Oh, I'm not for that. I'm not for a
Oh.
solo 10k. Like me versus Soju. Like 1v1.
Oh, 10K.
Yes.
The
Okay.
precedent says I can't do 10k, wager 500 each next
Yeah,
week.
yeah,
I'm down for like
Oh.
1k.
Okay, 10k is too
Okay.
much. 10k is too
Someone
much.
will be financially.
What?
ruined.
No, Kiyoon, don't do this, bro. Don't do this. Don't walk
But don't
it
do
back.
what?
This
No,
is-
no, no,
don't
no.
walk it back.
I'm down as long as it's a 1v1. But I know Soju's gonna.
Wait, no.
Soju's not
Okay,
gonna take it.
let's do this. You and Soju can do 10k 1v1, and me and P-God can do 1k 1v1.
Okay, but actually I'm too broke. I can't do. Okay, even though I know
I'm
I'm gonna
shocked.
win, like maybe Soju got down some hacks and just win every game.
No,
That's
my
true.
competitive
God,
integrity
Q, not
questions.
like
Oh,
this.
okay,
No.
All right.
Oh, all right.
What's the real bet then?
Yeah, they'll work it out. They'll work it
No,
out.
they'll figure.
I-
Okay, we don't need to do it right now. We got to land it. That's fine. Okay. Well, all right. So there you go. There's the tier list, everybody. I think it's time. I think it's time to high pass time to move on to our mailbag. We got a question for you from J Lau, and I will also say too. Right now, even though chat is like insane, throw some questions for Emily and Kiyoon in chat. They'll pick out their favorite one, and that person will win a gift card as well. So keep that in mind while you're answering this question. We'll have both of you answer it, so you got a little bit of time to also check out chat as well. But this is gonna go great, I'm sure. So J-Lau asks, how does preparing for a duos tourney differ from a regular one? Emily, why don't you go ahead and answer that one first?
I think it's a little bit similar for the both of us because I think neither of us really prepares that much for solo or duo tourneys. Um, but that's just because we're lazy. But it is a little different because like we have to have a bit of plan in place. So like
True.
Kiyoon was spamming rats basically, and he was like, "Oh, Emily, I'm gonna start like bow. I'm gonna just be rats 2020. Don't contest me. Don't go for the bow. Don't hold the rats. Like, don't hold the cannons. If you see them in your shop, sell them. Sell them. Stuff like that. So like, it's like you have to have something in place. But apart from that, like, yeah, it was. We had to like communicate a bit more, but it wasn't too much different.
Okay. Kiyoon, how about you? There's like some stuff going on in chat right now too.
Oh yeah, about the bet thing.
The bets are happening.
Okay,
Yeah.
for the how does preparing for a duo tourney differ from a regular one?
Yep.
Um, usually it's just basically like what item you're starting, like your first item choice from carousel, and if you can't get that, what's your second choice? And then we try to play like comps that's not overlapping. And if one person's playing reroll comp, if you see that reroll comp champion in your shop, you sell it. So those are the only things we do, or we prepare.
Okay. Cool. Well, we also have questions from chat in Discord right now. If you check that out, pick one that you like, and they'll get a gift card. You'll have to agree on it though, because there's only one, so it has to be a team decision, despite other distractions going on in Twitch chat. But yeah, check out Discord and which question there do you like? Which lucky chat individual will win the gift card? There's one in all caps. That's the one that jumps out at me, but I can't make the choice for you. Mort can't win, but he's got a great question.
Oh, can I answer Moore's question? What is your favorite high roll moments in your TFT career?
Wait, I don't even see Mort's question. What are is?
Oh,
is this
well, it
the-
was just in chat. It's not in Discord.
In chat, it's in chat.
Oh,
You're
it's in
supposed to pick-
chat. Oh, okay.
Because Mort can't win, so we can't put that one in there. But you can answer that one if you want to, and then answer a question from Discord.
Okay. I think my favorite high roll moment in in my TFT career. There's actually oh man. I think nothing beats 3x3 mech. Like upgraded 3-star Fizz, 3-star Rumble, 3-star Annie. And the mech does like 10k damage, it wipes the entire board. I think that's really satisfying.
Those were some fun
Yeah,
moments.
Kiyoon's mech days.
Yep.
Does anyone answer that
remember them
question
well.
too? Or
when
should
you
we
won,
just
when
go
you
to
won the China versus NA tournament, that was pretty high roll, but it was also really cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. That was like
That was
I think
a long
what really
time ago.
made that's what like when Kiyoon like arrived in NA TFT, you know. I think like prior to that he was like this guy that like people hated queuing into, and then he became like the North American hero, you know.
The North American hero.
No, that was
Right.
a. Does anyone
He
want to answer that question?
farmed
Or
all
are
the
we,
CN players. Yeah.
are we going into the main questions?
Oh,
Wait,
we'll
the ha-
go
Yeah,
go
we
to
can
the
just go to the main
Discord
one.
questions, and the ones that
Oh,
are
sure.
in Discord, you can pick one of those to award the gift card too.
Do we choose one?
Yes.
Oh, can we
Wait,
do?
can you first? No. First, can you type your top two, and then I'll type my top two.
Oh, okay, and then we can choose. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to do this one first.
I like team synergy. All right.
And the second one.
Congrats to
I
J
wanna
Lauer
do-
giveaway winner for the first part here. Some of the new questions in chat are pretty good.
Actually, I'll just do this.
Wait, I kind of only like
This
one
is-
of them.
This has become
Yeah,
way
this
more
is,
complex.
Yeah,
than I
same. I'm
anticipated.
like on the same page as
Oh, this
you.
one is so good.
Yeah, it is
All right.
good.
Oh, that is a good one. All right, so you want to go with that one then?
Yeah, let's go with this one. Let's go with this one.
Okay. So the question is actually from Tay AFK, and she asks, which champion ability this set do you wish you had and why?
This question is so good. Like, can I need like a minute to look at the champions.
Yeah, same. I'm looking at the champions right now.
I'm very excited trying to answer this question. Give me a second.
Trying to remember the champions that are in the set. Okay.
They chose. Shout out to TFK, by the way. I think she's really hot.
Wow, Frodan. We should what? Okay, I know. All right.
Wait, can you just imagine
Just-
Viego's skill?
No. I just scrolled
Diego's
down to
ability to be a
Diego.
bit sus in real life. Yeah. I don't know if we want anyone to have that ability.
Okay, so the question is, which champion ability this set do you wish you had and why? I'm guessing, like, do you wish that you had like IRL?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
IRL. Yep. No, they meant as an NFT. Of course, IRL. Yeah.
Wait, is this
Rodan, do you have an answer?
5.5?
Yeah, mine is Rel's ability, attract and repel. Actually, it's Soraka's silence, because I wish people could just shut up. Don't talk if you don't know.
Mm.
Just Soraka silence them.
Oh my god.
What would I pick? That is a tough one. I think I would just pick Vel'Koz. Just fire a huge laser whenever I want, and just like
Yeah, to kill someone off.
burn anything. Well, no, I was thinking, maybe to like put a hole through a building to save someone. Maybe use it for.
Wow.
Whoa, wow. There was some dark stuff that came out there just for a moment.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Actually, my
mean-
ability that I want would be Teemo's ability to 1v1 anything and win. So.
Yeah.
And you always
that's
have
a good one, too.
definitive bragging rights in a 1v1.
That's a good one.
No, I think I would Heimer would be really cool. You can like just spawn a cute pet that can like protect you whenever like with huge fireballs, just one shot
Right.
the whole enemy board. Also, Heimer was like my favorite thing to play last patch. And like, I don't know, I think it's really cute. I love my dogs. I think it'd be fun to have a cute pet dragon that can also, obliterate everyone that is a bully. Or
Wow.
like contest me,
So anyone who contests Emily or bullies anyone deserves death. Noted. Okay, got it. Kiyoon, what would you say your the ability choice is? You've had long enough. You got to pick something.
Yeah, I think it has to be Viego.
Why is that?
You could just ult someone and then you steal them, and he basically
And then
becomes your
what?
team.
What the heck?
Oh,
No,
Pretty
like,
sure-
Just imagine you just Viego and Soju, and then Soju becomes you, and then Soju just starts starts streaming and just starts feeding me all the econ, RL econ.
oh.
It's like it's like a free slavery. I just steal Soju and it's like free
Oh,
slavery
no.
working under me.
What?
You know what I mean? I just Viego and Soju.
No, I don't know what you mean at all, Q.
This went to a really dark place. No.
Just
Well-
keep Soju in his room and just make him stream 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
Give me all the money.
Just give you all the money.
Oh wow. Okay. I think we learned a lot about.
We did.
I learned a lot about my friends today. I learned a lot about my
We,
friends.
we learned, so we dug deep, some psyche, some stuff buried deep in the psyches of our guests was brought out today. I feel like we all grew. I feel like there may be some restraining orders that result from this podcast, but that happens sometimes. That's fine. It's been a great show. Final thoughts. Frodan, any final thoughts on our episode today?
I'm really excited to see the terms of the bet. because I know
Yeah.
Precedent was really down in chat with Emily, and I know Kiyoon and Sojo are gonna come up with something. So
Uh-huh. All right. Kiyoon, any final thoughts, shout outs, apologies, name changes, anything you wanna add at the end of this?
I probably said some controversial stuff this talk show. Hopefully it didn't offend anyone. It wasn't like serious. It was mostly just jokes. I mean, it was jokes, not mostly just jokes.
It was directed at Soju,
Uh,
so it's extra okay.
Yeah, I had fun. Thank you for inviting us. Next week we'll do a lot better. Hopefully we're in the finals. Yep.
Yeah, and I just want to
Alright.
say I don't actually want to like kill off my like people who contest me or whatever. I think it's actually better that you contest me because then I can become a better player because trying to play contested, you know? And yeah, next week I'm gonna pop off. We're gonna definitely have a bet, either a 2v2 or one-on-one bet. And we're gonna take all their IRL econ and
yeah.
it'll be
Alright.
lit.
Well,
Oh, actually, I do want to say one thing.
yeah, go ahead.
I started streaming recently, and the love that TFT community showed me was really nice. So, Kiyoon hosted me, Kurum hosted me, and one of my friends, Ali Straza, hosted me. It was like really, really nice. And I always say it, but like as much as we like to meme and kind of flame each other, and apparently secretly wish to enslave our best friends against their will, I think the TFT community is pretty lit. So overall, thank you everyone who showed up yesterday. It was great.
Indeed, we're nicer than it may indicate in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah,
You know, we're very wholesome. Trust us,
Yeah.
really. Yeah. Well, I feel like we ended on a wholesome note, and that's all we can really ask for, right? This was an amazing show. Thank you so much, Emily Wang and Kiyoon, for joining us. Best of luck in the Giant Slayer series presented by Wisdom. Thanks to the staff at Wisdom out there for putting on the show. It's been interesting. TFT is always something we like to talk about, though. So thanks for stopping by, and definitely watch the Giant Slayer series next week again. It's going to be great. Monday and Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be a lot of fun. Until then, for everyone here, thanks for watching. Stay safe. Play some TFT. Be responsible with your money, and we'll see you next time. Bye.